I want to begin this segment with a video from the Lincoln Project that brutally mocks Donald Trump. My goodness, blistering as you're about to see. Then afterwards, we're going to talk about Trump's latest interview, this time with Nigel Farage, and it went about as well as you'd expect. Not great. And so first, here's this specifically taunting him about the massive fraud judgment that he's unable to pay, the $450 million last time I checked, but it keeps going up and up as interest accrues. Here it is.
Oh, Donald, you're broke and busted. A fraud, a con, a low-rent rip-off artist. We've always known it. So have you. Now America knows it. The courts are shutting down your crooked shell companies in New York. Bank fraud, insurance fraud. You know those are crimes, right, Donald? They're dissolving the whole Trump Organization scam right from under you. Bankruptcy won't save you this time. You'll have to sell off everything. You might even lose control of that dump Trump tower. No one will lend you money, Donald. They won't even let you hand it over to Junior or Eric. Never mind Ivanka. She hates you. Everything you ever built was built on a lie. You were never rich, never successful. New York is laughing at you. Always has, always will. And now everyone knows it. Broke, busted, the loser in chief.
Oof, just ruthless. Yikes. Like I said, we're going to get into this Trump interview. Before playing the first clip from it, please make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel if you appreciate the work that is being done, and click the like button. That's also super helpful. Then let me know what you think in the comments. Okay, so Nigel Farage interviewed Trump. Such a softball interview. It just was cringing me out to even watch. But I want to walk through this, and obviously I'll respond to the different untruths that are told.
Trump v. Biden. Again, how are you feeling about this campaign? What do you think your prospects realistically are?
So in 2016, we did great. In 2020, we did much better than 2016. Got millions and millions of votes more, and
then Joe Biden got millions and millions more votes than that.
Bad things happened. Very, very bad things happened, and we're not going to let that happen again. But the COVID came in, and they used COVID for reasons other than COVID, and it was
he has the best words, doesn't he? As he once said, "I know words. I have the best words." That's the exact quote. They used COVID for things other than COVID. Right.
Disgrace, frankly, and that's what happened to our country. You look at the borders, you look at everything. Everything is bad with our country right now. It's gone so bad under this guy, the worst president in history. And we're going to do, I think, very well. The polls have us leading by a lot. And
actually, as we just recently covered, Biden is leading in the most recent polls, very narrowly, but leading nevertheless, which is good to see. He also is saying that Biden's the worst president in American history and everything's bad and it's horrible. 2 points on that. First, do you remember when any criticism of the current state of things in the United States would get you accused of being an America hater or something? And that's when we had to make the argument that no, patriotism, true, meaningful patriotism, should include wanting to improve the things in your country that are wrong, that are broken, that can be improved. And no, if you hate it so much, go to a different country, is what we'd hear. Now it's Trump who says we're a third world nation, using that outdated term. We're, going to hell, he'll say, and everything's bad. Then trying to accuse Joe Biden of being the worst president in American history when he's actually been one of the most effective presidents in modern American history is stunning. And it's a reminder of how we're just living in different worlds. There's the real world, right? And you don't have to necessarily agree with my assessment of Biden's presidency to understand this phenomenon. You got the real world with most of the people in it, then you got the MAGA world. And those are just operating separately, and it's really frightening. And so there is a contingent of the country that's been convinced that everything has gone bad under Biden, and he's been the worst president in American history when he got into office and everything seemed like it was going bad. Do you remember that crisis that was going on? Rather notable in all of our lives. And then since then, things have gotten a whole heck of a lot better. By what metric would you say Biden is the worst president in American history? What metric can you bring forward to substantiate that? Economic performance? No. Again, economic disaster going on when he took over. And now we're in a really strong place. And I always feel the need to caveat it with, and of course we want to make things better from there. But doing really well, especially in comparison to when Biden took over. Crime plummeting. Are you saying that legislatively he's been ineffective? No. One of the most effective presidents on the legislative front in modern American history. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? He's talking about delusions. That's what it is. Okay, here is the next clip.
If he would have left my policies in order, having to do with the economy, having to do with everything, if they would have left what we had, you wouldn't have had inflation. You would have been energy independent. We were energy independent, soon to be energy dominant. And now we get oil from Venezuela. It's not even believable.
So we have to address this again. First of all, a bunch of the factors that were put into play while Trump was president because of the pandemic were the reasons for inflation. I'm not even blaming Trump for that. I mean, he could have handled the whole situation better. But generally, because of that crisis, supply chain issues, recovery efforts, etc., inflation was poised to spike when Trump left office. So that's a ridiculous talking point. And then him saying that we would have been energy independent. Say it with me now. We're currently more energy independent than we were under Donald Trump. And you know what? I'll show the same clip I've already shown a few times. Here it is.
On day one of our new administration, we will end Biden's nation-wrecking war on American energy. He's wrecking the energy business.
Okay, Steve Ratner, again, what are the facts?
Yeah, I've been wrecking the energy business. So we have had record energy production under the Biden administration. This combines nuclear, fossil fuels, and renewables. And you can see here that we have never had energy production this high. And then the other thing that he says is that he's going to make us energy independent again. Well, the fact is we are energy independent. We've been energy independent now for 5 years. And in fact, our energy exports, mostly oil, but also some natural gas, hit a record last year. So in fact, America we produced more oil than any country in the world has ever produced in history.
Yeah, and he talks a lot about the economy and how it was better under him, and also attempting to rewrite history on the deficit and debt. Listen to Donald Trump.
You know, sometimes I feel ever so slightly bad for my regular avid viewers who watch every single segment or watch the full show for the members, because they hear some things a lot, like a lot. But the majority of the people who catch a segment here and there, I really want y'all to be informed with these facts. So I have to put it in a lot of segments to make sure people get it. And that means the people who watch every segment really get it for sure, which could be a little bit annoying. But that's an example of just one of these, you got facts and you got a story over here that a lot of people bought into, but it's not attached to reality, which is that Biden came in and crushed energy production. It's the opposite. It's the opposite. Energy production booming under Joe Biden, just exploding, including more oil production than any other country in the history of the world being produced right now, which for the planet is not a good thing, but Republicans would be praising that, right? And I do think it's important that we properly transition, which is good that a lot of huge investments have been getting made in green energy so we can sort of do a smooth, economically viable transition. And it seems like that's what the Biden administration is pushing for. But again, people just are not being informed on these things. And not even just the MAGA bubble and then the rest of the world. Separate from the MAGA echo chamber, you also just have people out there living their lives. And I think because of flawed media coverage generally, people aren't being told about these things. The economic recovery, the policy record of Joe Biden, the contradiction between what people are hearing about Biden's record on energy production and the reality of it, what they're hearing about crime rates and the reality of it when it comes to Biden's record on that. And I don't know what to do about that other than coming on the show and making sure I pound the drum on these different facts as much as I can. Here's another clip.
Big one, of course, is Ukraine. America has given $75 billion to Ukraine. And
Much more, double, maybe triple that.
Huge amounts of money. You've said before you believe a negotiation can take place to find peace. You could sort it out quickly. But is Putin the kind of man we can negotiate with?
Yeah, I think he is.
Do you?
So we did very well with him. Look, I'm the one that was the one, I stopped the pipeline, Nord Stream 2. People don't realize that. They say, I like Putin. I got along with Putin great.
It's like he can't ever not say that exact same phrase. It's so weird. It like just spits out of him. We get it. You've said this so many times. My goodness. But to be clear, when he says he could negotiate peace, let's see what he means by that. The Hill reports. Orban, meaning Viktor Orban, Prime Minister of Hungary, says Trump won't give a penny to Ukraine after Mar-a-Lago meeting. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban said former President Trump would not give a penny to support Ukraine in its war against Russia after the two met at Trump's Florida estate, Mar-a-Lago, last week. Quote, I don't see any... Oh, gosh. They just both are so complimentary of each other because they're both authoritarians. I don't see any other person as determined and strong as Donald Trump, Orban told M1, saying Trump will not give a single penny to the Ukrainian-Russian war. Therefore, the war will end. Do you know what is meant by that? If no support's given to Ukraine, Russia can enact whatever end goal it has much more easily. In the process, devastating Ukraine and its citizens, but then it would, quote unquote, come to an end earlier, and that's acceptable to you, Trump? That's what we're talking about. Give everything to Putin, then it's over, right? That's what a lot of people mean when they say, oh, Trump will get peace real quick, lickety split. It's giving everything to Putin that he wants and just not supporting Ukraine. And that's what Orban was proudly broadcasting. One more clip.
Finally, are you looking forward to this campaign, this election?
I've been campaigning.
How are you doing it? You've got all these legal cases mounting up. They valued Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
At $18 million. I mean,
because the courts are rigged.
What's going on?
The courts are rigged. They did. They valued it. It had an appraisal at $1.5 billion.
And we've heard that so many times, we have to hear it again. But really, it was worth $2 billion or $3 billion or $100 billion. It was the most valued property. Okay. Just to be clear, the Palm Beach County property appraiser is the one who assessed the property that then the judge aligned with and selected. So they say that the judge or the court or Letitia James, they're so corrupt, and that's why they undervalued. They got that figure, again, from the Palm Beach County property appraiser. So take issue with him, I guess, or her. My goodness. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, click the alert bell, click the like button, and drop a comment. And you can watch my Don Lemon interview by clicking right there. And I'll talk to you next time.